Well, the former FBI director, James Comey, today revealed he was behind the leak of a memorandum that he wrote to himself about his conversations with President Trump.
I asked a friend of mine to share the content of the memo with a reporter. Didn't do it myself for a variety of reasons, but I asked him to because I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel. And so I asked a close friend of mine to do it.
Wow, that is quite a sentence to unpack. And to do so, our next guest joining us, he says Comey can't be trusted. The hearing is the most disappointing, overhyped event since Y2K. Joining us tonight, Congressman Louie Gohmert, member of the House Judiciary Committee, former judge, and concerned citizen, I would say, after watching that performance by the fired FBI director. Your reaction?
Well, we had a lot of things going on here at Hill, and I was chairing a committee doing real work about the Department of Justice. But I have reviewed his testimony. It is shocking. I mean, and I understand apparently President Trump says he didn't actually question his loyalty, but Lou, the president could tell there's a potential problem here with his being honorable and loyal, and man, was that the truth. Yeah, this guy, there's a guy who uses a pseudonym, Ace of Spades, on the internet, and he tweeted this out, Lou. He says, Comey, Loretta Lynch told me to lie, and I didn't write that down, but I wrote down that Trump stuff because I was afraid he would lie. I mean, holy cow. It makes no sense. But one thing is very, very clear. Right. He was 100% loyal to Loretta Lynch and to Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Even though he announced they were reopening, that certainly appears to have prevented any FBI field agents from saying, hey, we found all these emails on Weiner's laptop and Comey's covering. He stopped that and then announced immediately before clean bill of health on Hillary. So I think he manipulated the system all to help Hillary, despite what the Democrats originally were thinking. Yeah,
well, I'm not sure the Democrats are thinking much here of late, but I do know this, that a man who would, well, let's do this. Let's listen to a couple of the former FBI director's statements. Let's go first to Senator Feinstein as she questions him, and see about your reaction to this.
You told the president, I would see what we could do. What did you mean?
That was kind of a slightly cowardly way of trying to avoid telling him we're not going to do that, that I would see what we could do. It was a way of kind of getting off the phone, frankly. And then I turned and handed it to the acting Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Day.
And this is the former FBI director on, well, giving us an insight into his emotional state. If you would, Congressman, listen to this.
As I said earlier, I think the circumstances were such that I was a bit stunned and didn't have the presence of mind. And I don't know, I don't want to make you sound like I'm Captain Courageous. I don't know whether, even if I had the presence of mind, I would have said to the president, sir, that's wrong. I don't know whether I would have. Okay. But in the moment, it didn't come to my mind. What came to my mind is be careful what you say. And so I said, I agree, Flynn is a good guy.
Well, Lou, you were alluding to it earlier. The Constitution does not mention an attorney general or an FBI director. All power of the prosecution through the Constitution is given to the president. The FBI director works for him. Everybody doesn't work for Comey when he's FBI director. And I think he's gotten that confused. The president, well, let's go back to Obama. Obama repeatedly, unquestionably obstructed justice over and over, whether it was a guy deserting his post and preventing him from being properly prosecuted, or people that have been convicted of all kinds of drug offenses. But the president has the authority to legally obstruct justice.
Were you not struck?
Power, and you alluded to that earlier.
As a congressman from Texas, were you not struck by the fact that the head of the FBI is talking about being expressing himself in what he called a slightly cowardly way, that he lacked the presence of mind, that he was a bit stunned, he was confused, he was concerned. Is it Pepto-Bismol for an upset stomach? Maybe that could have straightened him out. Congressman, great to have you with us.
Well, it's great to be with you, but there's serious loyalty issues, and as you were alluding to, there may be crimes here. I really didn't think Comey would come in and indict himself to the extent he has. There's serious issues here. It is extraordinary.